Okay, so quick recap. Last week, you guys made it back to the your home base city where the guild hall is at. You spoke with your guild rep and kind of recapped of everything that happened when you were over in Herwald. Talked about the gym for a minute, and then you guys leveled, you got paid, you were told to hang around because the guild leader's going to be talking to everybody soon, kind of talking about everything that's been going on. And then I think you guys had just like walked out of your guild rep's office or whatever.
I think so,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, so for anybody watching the recording of this, you'll see that Goals is not here today. He's got family in town, so he's gonna be sitting on the bench this time around. Um, but should all be good if I can do this right.
Oh no, whose backpack is Melissa gonna sit in now that Goals is gonna be like doing
She's
his own
walking.
thing?
Walking.
Okay, so yeah, you guys like left the office, and I think you guys had taken a seat somewhere, if I'm recalling correctly.
I think so.
Sure.
So
Sounds about right.
yeah, so you
Yeah, we
guys
were
were
just gathering for the speech.
you guys were sitting there waiting for the guild leader to show and talk to everybody. Um, all right, big stretch. Yeah. So, while you guys are sitting in the guild hall, you're surrounded by fellow adventurers of every walk of life that you can possibly imagine. They're all kind of doing their own thing, eating, drinking, stuff like that, kind of just waiting as well, just like you are. And while you're sitting there waiting to hear from the guild leader, um, you start hearing these like clanking noises of like how to describe it, uh like hooves on wood, very
Okay.
loud and very
Uh
heavy.
Quick background question. Do centaurs exist in this world?
Yes.
Okay.
cool. I'm excited now.
um yeah, so you're hearing these very loud, uh let's call it clopping noises, because that's what comes to mind when I try and describe it.
That
And like
works.
as you start hearing this noise, like you can tell that everybody starts you can tell everybody kind of starts quieting down, because they're realizing what they're hearing and stuff like that. At that point in time, you hear a door open, and you look up, and if you recall where the door to the guild leader's office was, right up the stairs along the banister to the very end, it's the door to his office. And along that wall where it's connected, there's kind of like an overhang or like a balcony or whatever, and there's another door there, and that opens up. And as it opens up, the guild leader steps through, and what you see, and you've never particularly met this character, but you see a uh, I wouldn't call him necessarily old, but he has an air of wisdom about him. Minotaur step through the door, and his horns
Okay.
barely miss the roof. And he kind of like you could tell he's kind of hunching a little bit to make sure like he's not scratching up the doors or anything like that as he steps through the door frame and onto this balcony area. And you can tell like as soon as he shows himself, most of the guild goes absolutely quiet, and as they look upon this their guild leader, this um massive minotaur with rich brown fur and a long braided mane. He's pretty jacked. He doesn't really wear like a shirt. Um as with like tradition for Minotaur people, they tend to be very liberal with their clothing, I guess would be how I'd phrase that. Um, but you can tell like he's been in some scraps, he's got some scarring going on, and but he just, despite all of the his brutal appearance, he also has like this, air of wisdom, as I said before. And um as the guild hall goes quiet, he leans forward, and you hear this like snort almost, how cows do that and stuff. Um as he's like breathing out to begin his speech. He says, "Members of the feral drink, thank you for gathering. I'm glad to see so many of you have returned safely. As you are aware, the comet Eridan, which has marked midsummer for time immemorial, has fallen from the heavens. We have little information to share about this event at this time. The Velgaian military dispatched a small force to scout and find this asteroid's resting place. They have also been investigating reports of unusual circumstances cropping up all over the nation, as well as assessing the damage from its downfall. The latest report from the scouting team came from the city of Garamond as they continued southwest along the asteroid's trajectory. It is currently believed that the asteroid landed somewhere in the High Anvil Mountains, but until we hear more, we'll continue operating as usual. Should any of you encounter anything during your travels, report it to your guild representative. We will make contact once we know more. Again, thank you for showing up today." And he turns around and exits. And the guild hall bursts into like murmurs of conversation and stuff like that. Um, some people are pretty concerned. You hear a handful of people talking about, rumors and the stuff that's they've been hearing and stuff like that. Um, as this happens, your guild rep Holly approaches you and lets you guys know, or like she approaches you. She says, "Oh, good, you guys were here for the speech. The guild leader would like to speak with you, all of you."
Sure.
All right, if you'll just follow me.
Okay.
And
Nervous.
yeah, and
Getting called to the principal's office.
she kind of leads you guys up the stairs and down the railing banister area to the door. She knocks. You hear the guild leader's voice from the other side of the door. "Come in." As you guys walk in, you can tell, like, I mean, this guy who is leading your guild has trophies and weapons and all sorts of stuff all over this very large room that is his office. You can also see that there's like a bed, so it's clear like this is where he probably spends some of his nights. But he's sitting over at his, and as unusual as this might look, he's sitting behind his desk. Yeah, Minotaur sitting behind a desk. I don't know if it's a funny visual for me. Um, but he sits there and he's like, "Ah, perfect timing. Come in, come in." And he motions everybody to step further into the room and take a seat. There's various chairs and stuff all over the place.
All right.
He says, "Your guild rep, thank you, Holly. Uh, she tells me you found something on your latest contract."
Yes. I'll pull out the gem.
"And what can you tell me about it?"
Not much. No one was able really to identify where we were. We were gonna go see Nick Nack while we're here in town. He said he might be able to do some kind of investigation into it, but he needed to be at his main location here. The only thing that I noticed about it was that the gem seemed to glow the closer it got to the meteor.
Okay. As he
Uh,
hears that, he stands and he walks towards you, and you're sitting in down, I would assume at this point. Um, but like as he approaches you, like he's towering like a good 3 feet over you, and he reaches his hand out for this gym.
I will provide it to him.
He takes it in his hand, and he kind of starts turning it over. Um, and he turns back and like goes and sits down at his chair. And he looks over and he's Ratnub. What were you saying?
oh, don't forget it came from a chest with ancient infernal on it.
Oh yeah,
Hmm. And he
I
turns it
found
over
it.
some more. He's just looking at it and observing it. And you said Paddywhack would tell you more.
He said he might be able to look into it.
And he's very he's deep in thought, right? As he's listening to you talk about your findings and looking over this gemstone, and he looks up and he says, well, in my opinion, Paddywhack is a fool, but he's a fool with information. So that makes sense. And he puts the gem down on his desk and he slides it to the edge. He looks around the room, moves from each one of you. Basically, you kind of get the feeling that he's like gauging all of you. And he gets to goals and he stops for a moment and he continues looking around. Um, and he says, your task is to continue investigating this gemstone and continue fulfilling contracts while you do so. Uh, should you receive any more information, be sure to report it to us.
It was easy enough.
All right. I have nothing further to discuss with any of you uh, outside of you. And he points to goals. He says, you stay.
Way to go, goals. What you do?
So in trouble.
Holly, please see them out and ensure that they are ready. So Holly stands up. She's like, sure thing. And she's like, all right, everybody, come on. She starts heading towards the door and opens it up. She's holding it so that you guys can, file back out into the common area.
Oh wait, before we leave, does he have a nameplate on his desk?
He does.
I want to look at his nameplate.
Sure. His name is Tarragon. Tragon.
Okay, and that's all. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, so like as you're walking out, you stop and you like look back real quick and you spot his nameplate. And then you continue walking. You guys get back out into the common area and Holly says, well, it's not every day that the guild leader, you know, has meetings with members of the guild, but it's definitely not every day when he assigns people specific tasks. So that was quite interesting to see. Um, well, at this point, I think it's probably a best idea if you guys go see James over at the A&S counter. He'll be happy to take a look at your gear and help make sure that you guys are stocked up if need be for anything that comes next. And as she says that, she basically is like pointing to the ground because you guys are up on like the balcony or whatever. So she's like basically motioning that like he's downstairs. And
Okay.
then it's like, if you guys need anything else, I'll be in my office for the next couple of hours taking care of some paperwork. Uh, got to keep things running. And um, after that, you'll probably find me milling about with everyone else.
Sounds good. Thank you, Holly.
You're welcome. What would you
I
like to do
proceed
from here?
downstairs.
All right. So you all are gonna head downstairs.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, as you head downstairs, you get to the bottom, you just look out along the open hall area, adventures everywhere. You do see outside of like the bar area along the back wall. Um so like if you had walked in the door, right, you have the bar that was off to the right. I'm sorry, the left. Off
Okay.
to the left, the stairs that went up, and then the banister, and then the back wall from the door. You see like another um like window, if you will, kind of like a counter, and above it says armor and supplies.
All right. I'll make my way over there.
Okay. As you approach, you see a human, pretty young, probably in his like probably just hitting like his 20s, honestly. Little bit of a scruff on his face. His name is James. Um, he's got his little like name plate there, and it says like there's a little bell that says tap for service. And but you see him back there, and he's doing his thing. He's like rummaging through stuff and whatever.
Ratnob hits the belt.
Bing. And you see him like straighten up from what he was doing and turn around. He's like, "Oh, hello. My name's James. What can I do for you?"
Uh, Holly sent us to have our equipment checked.
Okay. And he comes to the window and he's like, "Oh, y'all are pretty new around here, right?"
Recently.
Okay, awesome. Well, go ahead and hand me your packs, and I will go through and take inventory really quick, and then um, we'll go through and make sure that you guys have the base stuff that you should as you continue on your adventures. Um, if you've never used the ANS service before, um, basically, we make sure that you maintain a certain level of equipment. That way, you shouldn't have any issues on your adventures. Um, so, we'll give you a potion, 3 rations, and 5 torches. So long as you have that minimum, um, we won't be doing any sort of restocking. But if you're missing any of those things, so like let's say you only have 1 ration left, we'll give you 2. That way
Okay.
you have plenty of survival stuff to get you on your adventures.
That makes sense. Before I hand my pack over, I pocket the gem into my own pocket.
Okay. All right. He takes your bag and he's rummaging through it and stuff like that, and he's kind of searching through and he's taking inventory and stock of everything. And you see him walk over and he grabs like a potion off the shelf and puts it in your bag. Um, I'll go ahead and do that for you right now.
Just a general D&D question. How is it potions work? Is it drink and then it's over time? Is it drink in instant?
It's drinking instant.
Okay.
But it's an action to drink it.
Right.
I think that's what we want. Okay. Oh, all right. And then I just need your guild tag really quick.
Okay.
And
Zip field tag.
he reaches out for your guild tag and takes it in his hand and he puts it on like this little like stone type thing that has like some runes carved in it, and it lights up real quick. And you can tell he's like, it looks like he's like looking at something that's above your, where he set your guild tag, and he's just looking at the information that's on there and verifying, that double checking you are a member of the guild and all that good stuff. And then he's like, all right, there you go, there's your tag and your bag. All right, next.
Nice.
Yep, I hand over my pack.
All right, just rummaging through, looking at everything. Same thing, sees that you've got plenty of rations and torches and all that good stuff. At least I'm pretty sure you've got torches. Let me double check.
I believe I've got one.
Wait, where the fuck is it? Hold on. I see bell, candle, oil flask, tinderbox. I don't see a torch on here, so we'll make sure you get those.
Oh, no, I don't have one. Whoops.
So why am I not seeing your rations in here either?
I've got.
Oh wait, yeah, you do. Why the
Yeah,
fuck did that? Weird. I don't know why that wasn't showing up at first. Whatever. I'll make sure you get the stuff. No. All right, and I just need your guild tag, please.
here you go.
Thanks. And he does the same thing, drops it on like a little round stone piece, lights up all the runes, double checks everything. All right, sweet, you're all set. Who's next?
I'm like watching the guy go through the other two teammates' packs. I'll like pocket my meteor chunk in my robes or something, and then hand over my backpack.
Okay. Yeah, so same thing. He's rummaging through, taking inventory of everything you've got going on. Sees you've got
Ratnop
plenty
sees
of
you do this and double checks his pack.
uh checks over. Yeah, cool, sweet. Got plenty of torches. You're good on rations. Let's get you that potion then. Walks over, grabs the potion.
Yeah, potions.
Hoorah.
Delicious. Actually, they probably taste like garbage.
All right. And I just need your tag, please.
I'll hand it over.
Oop. Looks things everything's over. All right, looks good. There you go. Hands you back the tag and your backpack.
Beep,
All
boop.
right. He kind of moves up to the counter, looks down. All right, you seem to be the last one, little miss.
He's
Little
actually
shy.
awake.
Little miss. Is she okay?
Ratnop just hands over Melissa and her pack.
just picks up the whole kit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just puts her on the counter.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna check through your bag real fast here. Starts rummaging through the pack. Wait, what? Oh, you got 2 quarterstaffs in here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, interesting.
Wait, has she ever used a quarterstaff?
No. Well, I mean,
I had no
yes,
idea she
not
had
as a
large
weapon, but
object?
it's yeah, it's like a. She has one equipped, so like she uses it for her stuff.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, he's like, all right, let me get that stuff that you're missing added here. There we go.
Something just buzzed.
Yeah, I did hear something, but it's fine. Um, and then okay, that's all good. I need her tag.
Um, I pat Melissa down to find her tag.
He
I assume
he
they're like
takes it.
necklaces, right?
Yeah, yeah, they're just like dog tags. Um, yeah, he takes it, checks everything, and hands it back to you, Knox.
I put it back around Melissa, and I
All right.
take her down off the counter.
That should be all the basic stuff. Did y'all need anything else from me today?
Do you have any longswords back there?
Any long swords? Let me take a quick look. And he goes back and you hear like rummaging of like basically like metal. He's like looking through some weapons and stuff that he's got leaned up on the walls and all that stuff. He's like, yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, give me one.
All right, let me really quickly double check on that price here. Okay. That'll just be 15 gold pieces.
Nice.
And
Alright,
then
That
here's
yeah,
your
sounds
gold.
shockingly affordable.
you can
No, I mean, hey, everything sounds shockingly affordable when you have money to spend.
brew. Yeah, you can go ahead and just remove the gold and add that to your inventory.
Done and done.
So we all got a potion?
Yep, everybody got a
Yes.
potion.
Did you add it for us or did we
Yeah.
add it ourselves?
No, I added it.
Hmm.
Yeah, you might have to refresh, but it should be in there.
Refresh.
Let me see. Yeah. Oh, it's in your backpack. I didn't realize it split stuff up like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Cool.
So I was gonna say I noticed that there's an equipment tab and then a backpack tab, and I don't know what the difference is.
I think it's just supposed to be like what's in your like what's actually in your backpack.
Then wouldn't stuff
Uh
like our bedroll and things be there?
I would think so, but I don't I don't know. D&D Beyond is doing some weird stuff. You might be able to go into your inventory and like adjust that, but yeah, like your bedroll and technically all that stuff would be in your backpack, but
We have to get out.
um since I'm not like concerned really about like encumberment and stuff like that, you know, obviously you guys aren't going to be able to carry like a fucking Etton's body around in your backpack. So like, if it comes to be something that's like a little ridiculous, then that's when I'll be like, yeah, you can't do that. You got
Oops,
to
I
carry
think
it
I
in your hands
accidentally
or something.
deleted my meteor chunk. Whoopsies.
But yeah, so you guys all should have a potion of healing in your bag.
Nice. I see it.
Um,
Ah.
yeah. So James, helped you guys out, got you guys all set with like the base, like kind of just stocking stuff that comes with like, being an adventurer and part of the guild. Um, what would you like to do at this point?
Um, I'm. Go ahead.
Go check out P-dubs.
Yeah.
We're also
Okay.
That's where I
supposed
was
to
gonna
take
head.
more jobs.
Oh, true.
So I
Well,
guess before we leave, we could hit up the board.
Yeah. Well, because let's see. Well, just correlating information. So Guildmaster tasked us with researching the gem or researching the meteorite. Actually, forgot
The gym.
The
the
gym,
gem. Okay.
because that's what he was looking at that we had. I don't. We
Right.
did not tell him that we picked up some pieces of the
The meteorite.
meteor.
Um. So just Knox's information. He seeing that the gem glowed towards the meteorite. I'm more inclined to go towards the meteorite as well. Like take the gem to the meteorite, see if that causes any kind of reaction. So I'd be inclined to try and find my way to, I guess, what, the high Anvil Mountains, because that's where the
We
Guildmaster
think.
said that that it's believed to have landed.
Uh,
Oh, I
side
forgot
thought.
to do that.
Some of us have chunks of meteor. Should we I
See
don't
how it
know.
reacts.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe not in the middle of
But-
the guild, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Like just all the information I have. Like I would probably go to Patty Wax first, and then from there head towards the meteorite. Unless Patty Wax has like a completely different uh, observation that would be a better path to follow.
Okay. Do we want to see if we also could pick up some jobs that would take us to the mountains? Because, two birds, one
Yeah,
stone.
yeah, that would be
We
a
need
good
to
thing
eat.
to do.
True.
Hey, we've got rations.
Barely.
Right, so job board first, see what's on there.
Yeah, I figured get that done before we leave the building.
Okay.
Because we don't feel like coming back.
All right. So you look around and you don't see anything that reminisces a job board.
Oh,
Hmm.
I thought that you said there was a job board when we walked in.
Did I?
Well, we can just go talk to our guild rep.
True.
Did I though?
Or if there's not
Did
Oh
I
yeah,
say
I
that there
wrote
was a guild
down
board?
ANS vendor and guild board.
I guess you remind him as a guild board different from job board.
Uh,
Oh, I guess I didn't think there was a difference.
they, uh, you look over near the ANS window, and you can see that there was something hung on the wall there, but it's no longer there. It's like like that faint like outline of something that's been hanging on the wall for too long.
Mhm.
The one job no one wanted that someone was dumb enough to take.
Yeah, no, it's like the whole board is just not on the wall anymore.
Oh, what?
Well, there goes that thought.
I like Ratnob's
Some
idea
money.
though.
Yeah.
Wait, what was Ratnob's idea?
We
Holly?
just yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Holly,
that's-
someone stole the board.
Okay. Yeah, let's go see
Yeah.
Holly.
All right. Hey, you guys, you guys file upstairs and you go to Holly's office, and when you get up there, you know the doors open, so you guys just kind of like walk right in, and Holly's like, "Oh, hi! I wasn't expecting to see you so soon."
Corn has a problem.
Okay, what's going on, Corn?
The guild board is missing. How do we get jobs to make money?
Oh, yeah, they took that down for maintenance.
Took that down for me.
Yeah.
Wait.
Just
No,
so
Holly,
like the most confused look crosses Cora's face of what kind of maintenance is done to a cork board.
mate. Yeah, it's a wooden board, right, Holly?
Uh, y- last time I checked.
What maintenance do you do to a wooden board?
I'm not sure. I'm not the one that took it down.
Okay.
Server is full.
Uh,
Please come back. We'll try to log in later.
physical confusion. So do we just talk to you in the meantime for all the jobs?
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
You would talk to me like you could. Yeah, under normal circumstances, yeah, there is a guild board and with jobs on it, or like you could always just come talk to me directly, and I could give you any jobs that we have available.
I see. Okay. Um, are there any jobs that would take us southwest?
Mm, she she like opens up a drawer on her desk and she kind of like pulls out a stack of papers and she's like thumbing through things and she's like, hmm, let's see. Well, right now, because everybody's kind of been recalled back to town, there really isn't anything available at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, I can try and hold a job for you when it comes in, especially if they, head that way.
Uh, yeah, that would be good.
Okay, I can make sure that I I grab any of those that come in, and then next time I see you guys, I'll hand them off to you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Ollie.
You're welcome.
All right,
The
off
the
to P Dubs then.
the guild board should be back up in I think like a week's time.
Thank you, Holly.
You're welcome. Okay, what would you guys like to do from here?
I'm going to knickknack.
Guess we're gonna go hang out with the upsetting merchant.
Okay.
Who says he's upsetting? He's great. And hey, Ghouls isn't here to piss him off this time.
Oh,
Uh,
that's true. They were about to throw down.
yeah. So
No, Ghouls was about to throw down. Knickknack was just laughing at him.
as you
There's a
guys start
difference.
to leave, Holly really quick, she's like, "Oh, Knox. Um, by the way, make sure you're still a novice adventurer and all that good stuff, but I know that you guys did a lot and according to looking at overall the paperwork, you all seem to have gotten a little bit stronger and you can use magic now, right?
Uh, it seems to be so.
All right. Well, make sure you go to the Magus office and register now that you can use magic.
Huh. Okay.
If you don't know where that is, it's on the east side of town. Uh, big tower. You can't miss it.
Okay. Magister's office, east side of town. Got
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, they'll just want to run you through a quick assessment of your abilities and update your guild tag. That's all.
Okay. I'm assuming what right now you don't use magic. Ghouls doesn't use magic. So I'm assuming at least Corin and Melissa have been there before.
Yep.
Okay.
Got to get your magic license.
Basically.
Get your. You need to get your driver's license.
No, I just want to go out and be brash with it.
Okay, so yeah, Holly stops you real quick and she lets you know that you need to make sure that you do that, and then she's like, "Oh, that's all I had."
Okay. Thank you, Holly.
You're welcome. So you guys want to head over to, you said PW's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys remember where it's at?
PW's
do
is
not.
in the north of the city. That is the most information we received, and we see the building, but it's on the north side of the city.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys seem to be in agreement to head over to PW's. So you start you head out the guild hall and you start walking north uh, towards or at least you start heading to the north side of the city to the market that's up there. Since that is where you'll be able to find PW's or
Establishment.
find the PW Emporium that's there. As you're doing that, you guys have been walking along. The city streets and stuff like that are pretty busy, uh, given the size of the city and the area in which you're located. Um, as you're doing that, uh, Oren, you notice a bird fluttering around.
Bird? What
Yeah,
kind of bird?
and uh, say it's a sparrow.
Little sparrow friend.
Yeah, he's fluttering around and chirping, and his chirping gets your attention, and then you notice, as he's fluttering around, that it has like a little leaf in its claws, and it flies overhead, and it lets the leaf go, and the leaf kind of flutters and is floating, and then lands at the ground, kind of like a little bit in front of you.
Oh, so the bird flew over me and then dropped the leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does the leaf look like it's from a particular plant that I would recognize?
Uh,
Checking for poison.
yeah.
Pranks.
Yeah, it just appears to be a common like oak tree leaf.
Okay. I'll pick it up, turn it over in my hand. See
Uh
anything different about it?
yeah, so as you pick it up and turn it over, um y- you notice that part of the leaf let me make sure I describe this properly. Um as you pick up the leaf and you're turning it over, uh you notice that like the inner area of the leaf, the flesh part of the leaf is gone and missing. So all that's remained is like I guess like the veins of the leaf, if you will. I'm not
Oh,
sure if you've seen leaves do that before.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's oddly enough, it's like a perfect circle. And if you open uh dock, you
Where did
notice.
I put that? This one.
Yeah. Um, if you open your dock, you'll notice that the symbol that you see for on the leaf is the same as that symbol that's within your documentation.
Interesting.
And then right as that's happening, um, right as that happens and you pick it up and you're inspecting it and turning it over, um, it kind of like draws in your focus. And next thing you know, you're flying over the city of Matrusa.
What the fuck?
And you find yourself not in control of yourself, if you will. And you're speeding north. You suddenly dive into the woods and you're weaving between these trees very nimbly, through the brush and the trees, and you hear other birds and other creatures of the forest, and then you suddenly find yourself on a clearing, and there's a handful of stones that are around, and the trees here feel really old, and they're very tall. And suddenly you land, if you will, on one of the stones, and you hear a whisper in your mind, and it says, "Ever watchful, our roots run deep." And as soon as that is finished, you are back to yourself.
Did
The
we
ever
happen?
watchful, our roots run deep. Did I get that right?
Ever watchful, our roots run deep. And
Okay.
as far as like everybody else, you just notice that Corin picked up this leaf and then stopped moving.
Okay.
I gently shake her shoulder.
Is
She doesn't respond at first, but then she
is.
or they he comes to.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Calvin. So I'm still in a trance, and they're trying to shake
Well,
me.
yeah, they shake you. But like this I guess out of body experience doesn't last super long. It's like maybe 30 seconds or so. It all happens very quickly. So like they notice you stop, pick up the leaf, and then you stop moving, and then they shake you, and then they shake you again. And you're like you're back.
You all right there, Corin?
Blink, blink. Where where am I? What?
We're in the city. Where'd you think we were?
I'll look down at the leaf quizzically. I don't know.
Okay. Weird. Moving on then.
Put the leaf in my pocket. Ponder this for a little bit while we continue walking to the shop.
Okay. Um
Dazed and confused.
yeah. Yeah, you you just had this out of body experience, and heard those words, and you find yourself above the city and then back in your body again almost. And definitely, yeah, I would imagine your character would be very confused, as you might not entirely be certain what just happened. um as your group continues to um move towards PWs.
All right.
um as you guys continue walking along, you guys are getting, you're getting closer, but this is a very large city, so it's going to take you a little bit to walk there. um you're winding your way through the streets and stuff like that, and as you're doing so, um you hear, the it's a city, so you hear all sorts of people talking and things like that. And just as you guys are walking around, you hear some musicians and stuff playing. But as you do so, Ratnob, you notice there's something to the lyrics that they are um, singing.
Okay.
And the more that you listen, um, you realize that they're speaking in thieves' cant, but as in the form of a song. And so you're trying to pay attention, and like maybe not draw attention, but you're listening, and you put it together as what's being said. And if you check your documentation, you'll see what the message is.
Okay. Um. Yeah, guys. Something I need to do quick. I'll meet you at P Dubs after.
Oh, okay.
What? Where are you going?
I just remembered I forgot my oven on.
Your your oven?
What? Really?
Yeah.
We haven't been here that long. What are you baking? Wait, is it edible? Can we have some?
Let's go with yes.
What if your house is on fire? Do you need help? Do you need us to go with you?
I
No,
could put out
no.
a fire.
It's fine. I'll meet back up with you in a bit.
But your oven is on.
What if you get hurt and we're not there to help?
That's what the health potion's for.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you're not wrong. Okay. Enjoy your oven fire.
Cheers. Uh, yeah. I go off.
Okay. Yeah, so Ratnob, you explain that like, oh hey, you got this thing. You
No. I can no explain this.
yeah, you left your oven on and you've got to go make sure it's turned off. So you head off to do what it is that you need to do, and the rest of the party, Melissa, Corin, and Knox, you guys continue on your way to Patty Wax. As this is happening, Melissa, can you roll a perception check?
Huzzah! Melissa is alive.
Yeah. Um,
And
as
perceptive.
you're walking along, Melissa, at first you're not certain that you're seeing what it is you're seeing, but then after seeing it a couple of times, you realize that you know it is, like, you know what it is that you saw. And out of the corner of your eye, every so often, as you're walking along these streets, in the side streets of areas that like aren't super active, you notice this little like bobbing light, and it seems to be trying to get your attention, but it's very clearly not, you know, wanting to be around people.
I guess I'll fall.
Man, this city is bad news already. Corin's gone on a shroom adventure. Ratnob is going off secretly. Melissa's following some random light.
Goals is
This
Okay.
still in the
city's bad
principal's
news.
office.
We've been here for all of 2 hours.
Yeah, so so you said you're gonna follow it,
Yes.
or you're gonna like go check it out or whatever.
Do we see
Yeah,
her do
I'll go.
this?
I'm
I
just
mean, I
gonna
would
This is
wander
just
assume.
off.
wanders
I
off.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wander off towards the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Melissa notices this bobbing type light thing down these side roads and stuff, and um when it gets their attention, they just kind of start wandering towards it.
Wait, and Nox and I actually see the light, or we just see her
Um
move away from us?
I
No,
mean,
I'm gonna assume I'm too focused on going towards Patty Wax. So that's on you.
Uh, Let's see if I'm paying attention or if my brain is too focused on something else.
that's a save.
Yes, to see if I'm still having a hard time with what just happened.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that works.
And I think with the 13,
So
I think I'm still really upset by being whisked away.
um
on
Yeah,
some
I
like
mean, I
out
would
of body
say
experience.
I would say you're definitely still pondering, well, like what you just like what you experienced. I'd say it's probably been like 10 minutes or so, um, and you do notice that Melissa is kind of wandering, but you're not overly concerned that like you just think she's like looking around, right,
Up to
while
mischief.
walking,
That's not that big of a
right,
deal.
exactly, versus like that she's leaving the group.
Yeah, we kind of lost our Melissa Wrangler.
All right.
Um,
She's not in the backpack.
um,
She can get away.
Yeah, so both Corin and Nox, you guys continue making your way towards Patty Wax. Um, Ratnob, you kind of turned and started walking the other way, back towards where you were first hearing the thieves' cant, and you at that point, you kind of you kind of get to that general area and you reflect back on the message, and you see that there's like the main road you were already on, and then there's like a side road that's there, um but that's like it. The rest of it's like all like houses and shops and just maybe some street vendors, and of course these like street actors that you heard this um message from.
I go and drop a bronze into the street performers like hat or whatever they're collecting money in.
Okay. Yeah. You walk up and you drop your bronze into like their collection thing. They look at you and they nod, but as they're nodding, they kind of like do like a side nod as they bring their head back up, um, indicating like they're gesturing at the side street.
I head down the side street.
Okay. Um, you walk along a couple blocks and then you make your turn and you walk along a little bit more, then you find yourself at a dead end. But you do notice there is some stuff within this area. You notice obviously there's like just some stuff people have left, just random city things, boxes and what have you. Um, you notice that there um, is a door, but also go ahead and do a perception check for me. Okay. Um, yeah, so you kind of hit this dead end. You notice there's the door and just random stuff around. Um, but that aside, you're not noticing too much more at this point.
I knock on the door.
Okay, you walk up and you knock on the door and you don't hear anything. Like you don't hear
Uh,
any shuffling or anything like that on the other side.
do I see any sewer entrances?
Yeah, so go ahead and do an investigation check.
Oh, come on.
So as you're standing there, you're looking around, you don't notice any like sewer entrances um at first, but you do get the idea in your head to start maybe moving some stuff around that's there, and then you do see like a small sewer hatch, like a manhole cover.
Uh, yeah, can I look around and see if there's like anyone watching me?
Go ahead and do another perception check. Not from what you can tell.
Okay, I'm gonna go into the sewers.
Okay. So you go ahead and you lean over and you lift the sewer cover up, and then you drop down inside. Um, and you find yourself just within the sewers. At this point, Melissa, you're kind of just wandering, and um, you saw the initial light, and you realized what it was, and you started walking towards it. And as you started getting closer, it more or less disappeared from that point. So you get to where it was, and you kind of look around, and you notice it again bobbing in the distance. And this repeats a handful of times, and you oddly enough find yourself back at the docks. Um, and this time you see the light is kind of down the docks, and there's this small, um, not quite a rowboat, but more or less, and it's kind of just there next to it.
I'll hum on the King of Red Lions.
You are the spirit farer now.
Um, you say you're gonna get on it.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So as you approach again, the little orb kind of disappears from sight, at least from where it was. Um, and you decide to get onto the boat. And as your feet touch, the boat starts moving, and it starts moving across Velgaia's mirror south. As you do this, you notice that, like, you know you're on this boat and it's moving all by itself, from what you can tell.
I'll just sit patiently and wait.
Okay. Um, at this point, um, Corin and Nox, you guys are you're starting to get to the north side of the city. Um, you can hear the streets are getting a little bit louder now as you're approaching the market area.
Okay.
Um, you notice that the crowds are getting a little bit more dense than they were on the main street that you were following as it twisted its way through the city. Um,
Do we see Nick Mac's building anymore?
you do. As you're
Okay.
coming, as you're getting closer to the market, you do notice this definitely larger than all the other buildings around. Almost like warehouse-ish, but not quite. There's like something about it that still kind of feels
Store-ish.
yeah, store-ish, not so much industrial as a warehouse,
Okay.
but the size is there, so like it's got signs and it's got posters and things like that that kind of would be used to indicate that it's a store.
This D&D
Okay.
Costco.
That's what I was thinking.
No.
Wait, so are all of the other buildings around here, is this like a shopping district that his building is in?
Yep.
Yeah, because we're in a market district.
Yep.
So what other kind of shops are around?
Uh whatever your heart desires.
Oh.
So you've got like bakeries, and you've got armor smiths, and you've got weaponsmiths, you've got like general purpose stores, you've got clothing stores, like this is the shopping center of America area of the city.
Mm,
Like, you think of it, it's probably there.
Gotcha.
cool. Leslie feels a very deep need for having some retail therapy, but Corn doesn't give a shit, so I'm torn. Just
Well,
curious. So, like, his building is like the biggest one here, though.
Oh yeah.
can't miss it.
Wow, this guy's got to be just very good at business.
I continue to make my way towards Knickknack.
Okay. Um, so you guys continue walking, and you come up to the main market area, bustling with people, walking around, enjoying their day, doing their business. And you can see the entrance area of Knickknacks, and you can see people coming and going, not super frequently, but it's like a normal, as if you were going to the store. People coming in and out, random intervals and stuff like that.
Yeah. I head inside.
All right. So as you step inside the area, you notice that the shop layout is almost exactly the same as it was in Herwald.
Okay.
Just bigger?
No.
Oh. Oh, so it's like we're in like the shopping room, and then perhaps the rest of the building is where everything is stored, everything
Mm.
else.
Yeah, that'd be a more apt way of describing it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ratnob, as you are now down in the sewers and you're wandering around trying to find what it is you're looking for. Go ahead and do a perception check for me. Okay. As you're wandering around, you do start to notice red tally marks every so many like meters or so. And of course, you know what this means. And you can go ahead and check your documentation to read it over a little bit. But
Okay.
you do notice as you're walking through these sewers, you do start seeing these marks every once in a while. And you're not hesitant, but you're definitely on edge.
Uh, okay. These tally marks like marking a path for me to follow.
Go ahead and do. What would that be? Let's do a history check.
Okay.
So from what you can recall about these marks, you feel like they could be leading you somewhere, but you're not certain.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue following them.
Okay. As you're going along, and you're now at this point, you're looking for these marks, and you're trying to follow them in the hopes that they're going to guide you to where you need to be. Um, right as you round a corner of this sewer, a figure steps out in front of you.
I reach for my weapon.
Okay. So as they step out of the shadows and you reach for your weapon, you notice that two more figures step out from behind you. Kind of like in your
I
peripheral, you notice that there's three other figures behind you. And
I just
they're
rest my hand on my hilt.
okay. They're not saying anything at the moment. These figures are kind of just watching you, um, trying to, I guess, maybe gauge you would be a way that I would describe it. They are definitely on like the ready though, like they're in their various like, I guess, fighting stances or whatever. Um,
Alright. Yeah, I got your message to meet. What do you guys want?
our message. We don't know you. The one in front of you says.
Well, the musicians told me to come this way.
The group kind of just chuckles. They said musicians. Whatever could you be talking about? And the one of the dudes in the back is like, "Hey, boss, what should we do with him? He could ruin everything."
I could ruin you.
And right at that moment, he's like, "Oh yeah," and he lunges at you. Go ahead and roll for initiative.
God damn it.
Oh no!
All right.
The best crime drama is happening right now.
Yep.
Uh, so, yeah, so he lunges at you, and you kind of do your best to sidestep, and he barely misses you. And as you kind of like sidestep to dodge this person's attack, the other one that was behind you takes advantage of this, and you can't tell quite what it is, but you know that they're coming, like they're swinging to hurt you.
Okay.
And right as that happens, you hear this loud clang of metal on metal. And you're confused at first because you know it's not you. There's no way you have done anything. You couldn't have reacted fast enough to block that. And suddenly you just hear, you always did have two left feet, didn't you? And you feel this other figure kind of against yourself. But it like comes up to like your hip,
Okay.
and you look over your shoulder, and since you have your dark vision, you can see just fine. And you look over your shoulder and you see it's your contact, your old buddy Chogs. He is a goblin assassin that you used to know back when you were a part of the criminal organization.
Okay.
And go ahead.
You made a timely entrance.
Someone's got to look after you. And as quick as they appeared, they fell the two people that were attacking you from behind. So now it's just the one that's in front.
Is it my turn to act then?
Yes.
Yeah. Swing my swords.
All right. You do like a quick little like hop and a skip to them, and you bring your swords to bear. Go ahead and roll. Yeah,
16
go ahead
good.
and roll damage.
And then, oof.
Okay.
Oof.
And I'm gonna use my two weapon fighting.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that should just be a 6.
Okay. Yeah. So you you bring your sword down, or one of your sword downs, and you slash this this figure that was in front of you across the chest, and then bring your other weapon forward in a thrusting motion into their gut. Right as you connect with that attack, and they let out, like they're getting ready to let out a gasp, you see this dagger fly and right into its neck, and they just slump over dead. And the dagger, of course, was thrown by your good buddy, Chogs. And
Getting shown up.
Yeah. So I take it the message was from you then?
well, what else would it be?
Well, it could have been those guys.
What are you talking about? You don't recognize them? And he like kind of kicks them.
Do I recognize them?
Go ahead and do a history check.
Yes.
You do. And you can tell that the attire that they're wearing is that of your an enemy faction, if you will, that your old criminal organization would constantly be at odds with. And Chonks goes, "Oh, I was signed protection duty to one of our heads in this area, and these guys were attempting to snuff him out. You know, the boss man has been talking a lot about you lately.
Anything good?
He's still concerned about that debt owed."
Well,
Now,
I'm working on it.
yeah, I mean, time isn't anybody's friend. I listen. I'll tell you what. I think what I can do is tell them that you helped stop this assassination attempt, and that might be able to buy you more time.
Say, I definitely helped.
I mean, did you though? He's like, you got to work on your footwork, my friend. If I hadn't shown up when I did,
All right, all right. So why did you call me down here?
just to catch up. Haven't seen you in a while. Give you a word of warning. Like I said, the boss has been talking about you lately.
And that required you to drag me down to these sewers?
Oh, you think
Could have
I'm
just
just
gone
gonna
and got a
meet you out in the
drink.
bloody streets? He's like,
No,
you know how I work. I operate in the shadows. It's what assassins do best.
you're way too dramatic.
It's more fun that way.
Okay. Well, I'm working on the debt, and yeah, hopefully I'll come see the boss soon.
Just make sure
But
if you do, you bring what you need.
I'm gonna get back to what I was doing. You take care of yourself.
And he just kind of grins real big. He says, "I," and just kind of like slinks into the shadows.
I'm gonna rummage through 3 dead guys' pockets.
Okay. Yeah, you don't find a whole lot. You find a bag of like 10 coins on one of them, gold coins. And on the leader, you find basically like what am I trying to say here? You find like a contract hit basically. And on that hit is like the information for who they were being assigned to like assassinate or whatever.
Okay. What's the name?
That's a great question. Their name is Trudor. Crudor.
Okay.
Yeah, so you find the gold, you find that, and then like the rest of it's just like their clothes and stuff like that.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna make my way out of the sewers.
Okay. At this point in time, Corin and Corin and Knox.
Okay.
Yeah, like you guys are in the shop in the main area. Once again, as you look around, you don't see PW anywhere.
Are there actually other people in the shop?
No.
Is there a bell on the countertop?
Yep.
Ring the bell.
Ding. Nothing happens.
Ring it again.
You don't hear anything. You are, you're looking, you're at the counter. Obviously, you're trying to get help. You're trying to figure out where PW is, and you're looking around and stuff like that. And right as you go to tap the bell, a third time, your hand meets just countertop.
I look down. Is the bell? Did I just happen to miss the bell? Or is the bell gone?
You did miss the bell, but the bell is like on the opposite end of the counter now.
Weird. I walk to the other end of the counter. Attempt to
You
ring the
hear
bell.
you hear a voice as you go to ring the bell. He's like, "Hello." And
Just
from behind the counter, you see PW pop up on his little stool. He's like, "Oh, it's you.
Yeah, it
Seems
me.
to be less of you this time around."
Well, one is with the guild leader. One went to go check on his oven.
Oven?
Where'd Melissa go?
Wait, where did Melissa go? What?
Corin, you weren't watching
Panic.
Melissa?
I thought you were watching her.
I was heading towards Knitmax. Why would I be watching her? This is what
You
happens when
hear
gold gets in trouble.
you hear PW is, he's chuckling to himself. He's like, "I misplaced one of my kids once."
Once. What happened to the kid?
Oh, it's kind of hard to explain. Honestly, don't know if you'd understand it.
Okay, fair
Uh,
enough.
he's just like kind of like mumbling under his breath, and you hear like quantum shift and all these other like terms that are just like you're like, I think I know what that means, but I don't know if that's what that means. And so you're just like, uh-huh.
Sure, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And suddenly he's like, "Oh, did you bring it?"
I did.
And he's like, "Of course you did." And he like pulls his hands up from under the counter, and he has the gem in his hands. And
Oh,
he's like, "There's been something I've been thinking a lot about when I first examined this crystal."
okay.
And he turns it over in his hands a couple times, and he's like, "Hmm." And he's like, "You see the rose inside?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think it's actually a rose."
What else could it be?
Well, I
It's not lettering, right?
see, that's the thing, is I think it is. I just think it's so small and intricate that to the eye it looks like a rose.
Weird.
But
Who or what would make something that small, though?
someone very powerful, the amount of time and energy it would take to create this is unheard of. And like you could
Okay.
tell he's kind of like not acting his self right now, and he's very kind of like serious in his thoughts.
Okay.
And he's like, this is of course just theory, and we'll have to investigate it a little bit further, but that's why we're here, right?
Sure is.
Okay. And he's like, I've got some equipment here that I can hook this into to verify what exactly this is, and hopefully identify it.
That would be great.
And he's like, okay.
Do
And
you have any rough idea of how long this may take,
a couple minutes maybe.
though? Okay.
My equipment here is much better because, as you can see, and he kind of like motions behind him, I have much more space.
That is true.
And at this point he's like, okay, I'll be right back. And he drops down from his stool, and uh you don't even hear him like hit the ground as he jumps down, but you don't see him anymore.
Okay.
uh and he's gone. Melissa, at this point you have gotten across um Velgaia's mirror, and you've reached the other side. The boat bumps into the shore, and you find yourself, uh, you know, vastly different environment than the other side, which of course was like there was a city, but even as you made your way towards the city when you were on the boat, you could tell it's like lush green trees and everything. Here, it's very dank and dark. Um, you hear bugs and stuff going off everywhere. And you of course recognize that this is kind of like a swamp or a marshland type area. um and uh, and as you crawl out of the boat, you see in the distance this light that essentially you've been following this whole time. um and you recognize this, in your brief time within the city and in the Adventurers Guild, that you've heard this area talked about, and it's called the Emerald Morass. Um, and its namesake is because at a distance it looks so much more vibrant and greener than it is, and like an emerald. And then as you get closer, it becomes darker and more swamp-like. Um, yeah, so the boat has bumped the edge of the shore.
I guess I'll hop off here then.
All right, you get out of the boat, and the boat um just it's still there. It hasn't moved. It's not like leaving you or anything like that. um and yeah, you see that light in the distance.
I'll follow it.
Okay. You make your way through the morass, and you're weaving around trees and watching your step to try and stay out of any mud and stuff like that. Go ahead and do a perception check for me. Perfect. um you're not certain why, but you get this feeling that something is watching you and is moving around you. Um, it's not super close. It's definitely seems like whatever it is being very cautious. Um, and you're not able to precisely pin down where it is, but as you're walking along, it's moving with you.
Well, I'll just keep following whatever the heck I'm following.
Okay. After some time of moving into the morass, you notice that the light is um, kind of bobbing outside of these like half ruins, I guess would be how I describe them. Um, Looks like it might have been an old like an old watchtower that's long since been abandoned, in half ruins, and then it floats inside of the door area, and then it kind of vanishes from sight.
I guess I'll go into the ruins.
All right. Um, yeah, so you approach the ruins, and as you step over the threshold of the ruins, you find yourself in a completely different area. It's almost as if you've stepped inside of a cottage. As you look around, you see, um, you know, comfy, cozy chairs and quilted. What are
Paper
those
pick
things called?
uppers.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, what is what are doilies? There we go, like quilted doilies and pots and things like that. And from where you step in, you can look down the hallway to your right, and you see a um a kinku there. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's like a crow person, if you will. Um,
Okay.
and like instantly right away, you can tell that this is an older kinku. They've been around. Their feathers are starting to gray, um, and uh, she's near a table and she's pouring tea. And you notice that there are two sets of tea glasses or cups that she's pouring these into. And this cottage is vibrant and bright, and sun is streaming inside. From what you can tell, the weather is like completely different from what it was when you were approaching the ruins. Um, as you're kind of just observing the area or like your surroundings, um, the kinku kind of like turns and looks at you, tilts their head, and then looks back at their tea, and then looks back at you, and is just kind of like staring at you, a little like unblinking almost, as some birds do.
I guess I will stare back.
Um, so the kinku is like just kind of observing you, tilting their head back and forth, and um, they kind of like feathers get all gruffled a little bit, and they snap their beak and then sit down at the table at one of the teacups that they were pouring, and they just kind of stare at you and look back at the other empty chair.
I guess I'll go sit down then.
Uh, so the kinku kind of like, as you go to approach, they you can tell like their feathers lay flat a little bit, and um they seem to be a little bit chippier than they were before. But you've noticed like they haven't actually said anything. Um, they're very observant, I guess, would be how I would phrase that. So you're going to sit down? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll sit down.
Okay. Um, yeah. So as you approach and you sit down, she is very clearly um, pleased that you're sitting, and she kind of shifts in her chair to this bookshelf that's like next to her, um, next to the table. And as you look, you can see that like there's a decent number of books on the shelf, and she kind of reaches her hand up to the shelf, and she's running her hands along the columns of books, and then her hand stops, and she grabs one of the books and pulls it off the shelf. She sets it down on the table, and she slides it over to you, and she kind of nods towards the book and then stares at you, uh, as if she's wanting you to, you know, pick it up.
All right, I'll pick it up.
Um, as you turn the um, book over after picking it up, you can see that it's very old. Um, and the writing is written in Sylvan. Uh,
It's a good thing I can read that.
she's just kind of observing you, waiting to see, what you do.
Yeah, I guess I'll read the book. I assume my
Okay.
character's literate.
Okay. That's probably a good thing. um
If not, I will just open the book and pretend like I'm reading.
yeah.
Open the book, hold it upside down, kind of. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So as you open the book, the uh the old Kinku lifts her tea to her beak and starts taking a sip of it. Um she's just kind of observing and waiting, I guess, would be how I would describe it. And you open this book, and um, yeah, you start reading from it, but it's not fully making sense. Like you recognize and understand the language that's being said, but it seems like it's almost out of order, and you're not certain as to like what it's supposed to mean.
I'll just smile and nod.
The Kinku kind of like almost like mimics what you're doing, and she tries to smile with her beak, and you see the edges of her face kind of curl up at the end of her beak, where it connects to her face, and like nod. She puts her tea down, and she reaches out, and she touches the edge of your hand that's holding on to this book, and as soon as she connects with you, your mind begins to fill with a vision, and at the same time knowledge and information. Um, the first thing that you see is a bright red light, almost like a pulsing star. And as that happens, you notice that the area around this bright red light that was filled with other bright lights, like as if you're staring into the night sky, starts disappearing one by one. Very rapidly, it picks up in pace. They just start disappearing. And as that happens, suddenly these tendrils of energy shoot out from behind this bright red star and shoot at you, as though like that's how it appears, as if they're coming at you. And then right as they look as though they're going to connect, you have this vision of this young trying to think how to properly describe it. You see this young sprite. Um, they're motionless. They don't directly appear to be injured, but they're not moving. And it's almost as if they're suspended in a way. Um, the outside of like this figure that you're seeing, everything else is completely pitch black and dark. You can't make anything else out around it. And then your eyes open, and the Kinku that was sitting in front of you smiles again and then vanishes.
Well, I guess I'll finish drinking my tea. So
So,
the book I still have.
yeah, the book is still in front of you. Or like it's still in your hands, technically.
Well, I'll put the book in my bag,
Okay.
and then I guess I'll. Is there any food around?
Yeah, go ahead and check out, you get up and you check the cupboards and stuff like that, and you see that the cupboards are all like fully stocked with food and stuff like that.
But are there cookies?
Yes.
I will take like 3 cookies.
Okay.
Only 3. Week.
Um yeah, so you rummage through the shelves and all that, and um you find the cookies, the bag of cookies. You reach in, you grab out a handful. And of course you put the bag back because your parents taught you manners.
Did they though?
All right. Well, I'll have the book. I guess I'll leave the house then.
Okay. Um at this point in time, both Corin and Nox, you guys have been waiting for PW to come back from whatever it was he was doing. He kind of just vanished on you.
Okay.
And
Disappointed we didn't get to watch. Mad
Uh,
scientist at work.
as he or like as you're waiting, you hear this voice, it's kind of like dulled and muffled a little bit, but it gets your attention, and suddenly the door to the shop opens and in walks PW, and he has the
PW,
gym the gym in his hand.
but why were you outside, PW?
I wasn't.
But you're coming in through your front door.
Yes, doors are
Logic,
entrances to many places.
PW, don't hurt my brain, please. It's the only thing I have.
PW chuckles a little bit, and he moves over to where you both are at. I'm not sure if you were like both standing at the counter, if you decided to sit down at the chairs that were in there.
Oh, there were chairs.
Yeah,
I was at
like
the
I said,
counter.
the layout is exactly the same.
I don't honestly remember there being chairs at the other one.
Yeah,
Me
yeah,
either. I
because
remember there
Corin
were,
sat
like...
down last time.
I did?
Did he?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, it made me lose train of thought.
Sorry.
Yeah,
It
so
helped.
what's that?
I was gonna say, if it helps, like, I think while we were waiting, the Corin probably would have taken the leaf out of his pocket, and, like, kind of stared at it a little bit, going like, "Did I really see that? What did it mean?" Just be like really like confused, and contemplative.
Okay. Yeah, PW walks over to the counter area where Nox is, and is just kind of like caught off guard with you, and was laughing at what you're saying, and then he's like, "Oh, that's right. So I have some answers,
Okay.
but I also have a lot of questions."
Okay.
And he like looks over to Corin, and is like, "Excuse me, excuse me,
Hmm? Hmm?
little help here," and like looks up to the countertop.
Confusedly. Wait, is he on our side still?
Yes.
I understand. I'll go pick him up and put him on the counter.
And he belts out laughing, and he's like, and amused that you actually did it. and and he's just like, like he's standing at the counter at this point. He's like eye level with both of you, because you're both like 6 something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like eye level with both of you, and he says, "I was right. The rose that we see inside here is a spell, and it's highly, highly, highly complex. Um, from what I can tell, there are magical properties to this, and I can show you."
Okay.
Hold up.
And
He said it's not just words, it's specifically a spell?
correct,
That's what I heard.
Okay.
correct. Yeah, I mean, spell, string of words. But yeah,
Hey,
it's
details
a
matter, and I'm trying.
no, yeah. It's a spell that is highly ingrained and woven into the very matter of this gym. So it is almost as if the spell and the gym are one.
Okay.
Now, like I said, I can show you if
Show
you'd like.
how.
Well, a demonstration, of course.
Is it a dangerous spell?
Mm,
Maybe.
I'm game.
but the undead that we had to fight before makes me so concerned now.
But we're in a city full of adventurers. Seasoned adventurers.
I know that I've not been in a city for a very long time, or in a very long time, but I don't think they'd be very pleased if just zombies showed up.
You
That's
don't have to
true.
worry about zombies.
But remember, Corn, our guild master specifically told us to investigate this. If shit goes sideways, it's his fault.
I don't
Which they
think
rarely
that's
go
how that
sideways. It's normally
works.
upside down.
Yeah,
Oh
see?
boy.
Things will be fine. You just be upside down for a little bit.
D-
That's fine.
d- d-
Don't worry about it. It's
d-
just like swimming underwater.
d- What?
Um,
Is
so
there a
at this
way
point,
to know what the spell does without the demonstration? Can you just
No.
tell us?
The only way to
uh,
know is to actually perform it. You know that, Corn.
I don't like this idea.
I mean,
That's how magic works, right?
No.
technically, I could just tell you, but
But it's
showing
much
you
more
is
fun
much
this
more
way.
fun. He
Oh.
gets it.
I
At this
don't
point,
trust
I'm
it.
gonna say it's been long enough that Ratnob, you have exited the sewer, made your way through the city, and you are now in the market area where Pattywax is.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk into Paddywhack's then.
All right, you walk inside and you see Pattywax standing on the countertop, and both Corin and Nox are standing there talking with him. And he looks
Really
over
don't
his
think this is a good idea, guys.
This is a
There's
great
got to
idea,
be a
Corn.
different way.
Nothing will go wrong. Believe me. I know this. I'm a magic user now.
That. Oh boy. Don't let your britches get too big, man. We don't even know where the others are right now. Like, we're here all alone with the merchant.
Oh, hey, look, there's Retnop. See, we're fine. Right, Retnop?
Sure.
See, Retnop gets it.
Has
That's it.
Pennywhack
It's
told us anything?
yeah, he's getting ready to show us what the spell does.
And I really think it's a bad idea.
But see, it's 3 against 1, Corn.
How is it 3?
Me,
I don't know what
Paddywhack,
I've walked
Retnob.
into.
3 against 1.
What if he agrees with me? Right now, what do you think?
No.
Should we use the
Retnob
spell?
already
What if
agreed
it
with me.
summons zombies?
Retnob, it's a spell. Don't you want to see magic?
I want to know what it does first.
That's what we're getting ready to show.
Right, so
I
we
said
should be told what it
first.
does first.
No, you got to perform the spell to see what it does. Because words can get confusing. Words are hard. Magic is not hard.
Magic is very difficult.
No. You're just going about magic wrong.
Melissa, at this point, are you making your way back to the town, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess I'll make my way back. I guess I have nothing else here in the.
I mean,
acid war.
you're feel free. You can explore the hut all you want if you want. I'm just trying to figure out what your character's up to.
No, I got my cookies. I'm leaving.
Okay. Yeah, so
Got what I
I would
wanted.
say at this point you're back on the boat. You've wound your way back to the shore, and you see the boat. You walk over and you jump on it, and same as it did when you rode it here, it shifts backwards, turns itself, and starts propelling itself across the water just as it did initially. And yeah, you're just making your way along the boat at this point in time. So at
Oh
this point,
boy.
PW, he's kind of just standing here listening to you guys talking
We argue.
and argue amongst yourself. And yeah, so Ratnob, have you joined in on this conversation?
I'm still confused as to what's really going on.
Okay.
It's fine. Things will be fine. Go ahead, PW. Show us what you got.
I mean, I was gonna do it anyways.
Nice. See, Corn, he was gonna do it anyways.
And he points, because he's still up on his counter. He's like, he points behind you guys. He's like, "Oh my god, what's that?" And you
I'm
all
not
look.
taking my eyes off. I'm not taking my eyes off the gem. I'm fully invested in waiting for this magic to happen.
Okay. All right. Who's gonna look
don't
at
trust
what
it
he
either.
says when he says,
Oh,
"What's
hell
that?"
no.
Sure. I look.
Okay.
I don't trust the tiny merchant.
So right as he says that, both Corn and Nox, you fixed on PW and the merchant, and the gym, and Ratnob, as soon as you like turn and look, there's this massive basilisk just sitting there. And you, Nox and Corn, can feel something breathing on your neck. It's
PW,
that
did you
close.
do the magic yet?
I'm
I-
about
Did you
to.
do magic? What's it do?
I'm drawing my sword and just like elbowing the other two to get them to turn around.
No, later, Ratnob, later. This magic can happen.
You just
Make sure that the merchant doesn't do anything stupid.
I
You
think
just-
it's too late.
What do you mean too late? I'll look over my shoulder. That's a snake. Look back at the gem. Double take at the snake. That's a snake!
Why is there a giant snake in here?
well, so a basilisk is a 8-legged, like, massive like spiny crocodile thing.
Wait,
Oh.
what?
Yeah.
Is that what? Am I just getting confused? What I thought a basilisk was?
There was
Yeah,
something-
Harry Potter confused you.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
But
I'd
that's
rather
okay.
be a fucking snake. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is infinitely worse.
Yeah. And
Snakes are these
so
weird lizard creatures with giant eyes that make them look like frogs.
so
Dark Souls taught me
yeah,
that.
you see this basilisk just sitting there staring you down, like saliva and spittle just dripping from its jaw as it's like it's like, I mean, it seems slightly bewildered and confused just as you, but you can see the panic and fear, like it's about to attack and everything. And
Do our
right,
characters know what this is?
a basilisk.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like, would we know what
I would
what this
say,
creature is and how dangerous it is?
I would say Nox for sure knows what it is.
Okay.
Based off of his background, because this creature hails
I
from the mountains.
mean, he called it a
Okay.
snake, so I'm not so sure.
True. That's because that's what Calvin thought it was.
Yeah, at a glance, he thought it was a snake over his shoulder, and then he realized what it was as he turned around. And I would say you've heard rumors about what it is before, the other two, but you're not. I'd say you're not certain that that's exactly what it is. You like think you know, but you're not 100%.
I know
Um,
enough to see that it's dangerous.
Looks big and scary.
right at this point, you hear a bell from the door opening, Tring, and in walks Melissa.
Oh, hi, Melissa.
Where have you been?
I'm gonna.
We were
Corin,
worried sick.
No, Corin. Little more pressing matters here.
I'll slowly pull a cookie out of my bag and eat it.
See, she
Eat
just
it
went up to get
very
cookies.
slowly.
The door like kind of like shuts by itself behind you as you walked in, and you see Melissa, from your perspective, you see PW on the countertop behind you, and he has the gem kind of held out in his hand, pointed at the basilisk, kind of above everybody's heads, so like it's kind of out of view type situation, since y'all's backs are turned. And you can tell he's saying something. He's like getting ready to cast a spell, and right at that moment, PW says, "Now you see it, now you don't," and the basilisk disappears. And he's like, "And that's how it works."
Huh.
What do you mean that's how that works?
Okay.
What happened?
Teleportation spell. Got it.
Nope.
Jim, please. I want to try.
What if
Uh,
it's just an invisibility spell and it's still in here and it's gonna bite us?
Jim,
No,
please. I want to try.
it's not that either.
Jim, please. I want to try.
You don't even want to know how it works. You don't even know how to do
Sure.
the spell.
I'm gonna look
Well, you can
around
teach me though.
on the floor and see if like it transformed the basilisk into like a tiny lizard or some shit like that.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and do an investigation check.
One moment. I have
Yeah,
everything,
like Corin
small.
is like super like, and like just
Very
like
paranoid.
what the heck?
But
Yeah,
apparently
like
not that paranoid.
yeah. I mean, like you get down on your hands and knees and you're like looking around, trying to see if you can like spot it. All like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And you're just like, I don't see it, guys.
Gotta be here somewhere, and I don't bump into it or anything, I guess.
Yeah, no,
Also thinking it could be invisible.
and no, you don't interact with it in any way.
Oh my gosh, guys, where did it go?
It's a teleportation spell, Corin. See, I told you didn't know how magic worked.
Say that again to me next time you're hurt and need help.
That's fine. It'd be the two of us,
And
Corn. Which one of us has gotten hurt?
hey now.
Oh yeah, I totally got bit by a wolf or something, didn't I?
A rat?
I think it was a rat.
Something.
Something. Yeah, so PW is like very proud of himself that he just, disappeared this massive basilisk. And he sets the gem down, and you can see that the gem is like glowing ever so slightly more than it was. It's very, very faint.
Okay. Fainter than it was when I noticed it during it getting close at the fight with the meteor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like this is just ever so slight. Like if you weren't looking for it, you probably wouldn't notice it. But since
Okay.
you guys are pretty fixated on this gem, it's something that you're seeing. And it helps that like it's sitting on the counter at this point. Because he put it down, and you can kind of see
Okay.
the glow on the countertop.
I motioned to pick up the gem.
Yeah, you go and you pick it up.
All right, PW. How do I do this? Who can I teleport?
Yes.
Who wants to teleport somewhere?
So, so it's not teleportation magic. Please don't point it at your friends.
Oh
Oh.
boy.
What
Oh.
what I was able to determine, and again, the spell inside this is highly complex. But essentially what this gem does is it will consume your target.
Consume.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so that basilisk is in here? I want to hold it up to my eye and to the light and see if I can see anything inside of it.
You don't see anything. It's not a kaleidoscope.
Damn.
Right, because isn't it kind of sort of transparent so we can see through the crystal, but then
Yep.
there was the
Yeah,
stuff in the middle?
it's opaque.
Yep. But then there's the rose in the middle, which is of course the spell that you can see.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yep, consumed. Ate it up."
So it's dead?
Where did it come from?
Don't worry about that.
That is also a big question.
So this is a killing gem. Got it.
And then so from a D&D like DM's perspective, I can tell you how this gem works exactly.
Okay.
So that way you guys are aware. Once per day, a single medium-sized or smaller animate target, so it has to be living or alive, target within 30 feet can be consumed by the gem. Spell must be channeled for at least 10 seconds, and the target must pass but the target can pass a wisdom check to not be consumed by the gem.
Okay. I may need that again. Because I am a slow tiger.
That's okay. I will I will copy paste it into, let me put it in, do this. Okay. Corin, Melissa. I'm just gonna put it in you guys' docs real quick.
Okay.
And right now. Okay. Yeah, so that's how that gym will like work as far as like from a usage standpoint. And it has a what is it, a verbal component
Okay.
to casting it, and a channel or concentration, whatever you want to call that. But it has to be for 10 seconds, that's 2 rounds of combat, I think.
I thought each round was 10 seconds.
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't. It would be like the round you choose to use it, and then the following round is when it would activate. Is what I meant.
Gotcha.
Charge it up, and then it does the thing.
Right. Yeah. So he explains to you like how the spell works. And he's like, again, it's this. It's a lot. I've never seen anything quite like this before myself. Um, it's very powerful.
Seems that way.
What happens to the creatures once they're gone?
I don't know.
Volunteers?
Please don't use
No?
it on your friends, sir.
I mean, who said it had to be a friend that we needed to volunteer? I'm pretty sure we've all got enemies of some sort.
Fair point. And at this point, he's gonna kind of move to the other side of his stand, and he's gonna disappear out of sight. You hear him hit the ground this time, right? Like you hear him land. But
Okay.
you can't see beyond the counter without like leaning over it necessarily. So you don't see him. You still hear him talking though. He's like, now what I can offer you, and then like his voice moves behind you, and he appears next to Melissa when you turn around to look for him. And
Okay.
he has a cookie in his hand as well.
Oh no.
And he's eating it.
I'm gonna glare at him.
And he's just like, these are pretty good.
Oh,
Now,
look at that. Melissa's sharing.
as I was saying, um, I can offer a service for you to turn this gemstone into a proper item of use.
Okay.
Uh, I think it would work
Wait.
best as a magical amulet or possibly uh, adorning a staff.
Hmm.
But choice is yours.
All right, gang. Who wants a magic item?
I don't think any of us carry staffs.
Didn't we
I
It
just
just
cover
sounds
that Melissa has
quarterstaff.
2
bulky.
quarterstaffs?
I do have 2 quarterstaff.
Well, I mean, do you always have it out though?
Yes, I have to use one as my focus.
Oh. Oh.
We just never noticed it because all of his spells come from his puppet hand.
True. The puppet hand is usually the cannon. Well, who's who's responsible enough to carry the dangerous object?
I mean, do you feel like Nox is responsible?
As you refer to yourself in third person?
True.
Yeah. Um, PW at this point, he's just kind of like, he goes over to the chair that's one of the chairs. He sits down. He's just munching on his cookie, swinging his feet.
Having a good time.
Yep.
Well, I don't want the staff.
And it could be an amulet. It doesn't have to be a staff. You did say amulet.
You betcha.
Oh. Do you. Wait, it said you have to be within 30 feet?
30 feet. I mean, we could always. PW, you can do this at any point, right? You don't need to do this exactly right
That's true.
now. Okay. We could always wait till Ghouls is done being in timeout. Talk with him. See if he wants it.
Oh my goodness, I think he would actually really want it.
True. I mean, realistically, him and Ratnop are our close range fighters. So if we're thinking amulet for close range, that would be the best one then. Staff, Melissa's the one who carries an actual staff.
I've never seen her get closer than closest like 30 feet though.
True.
She's even more long range than I am.
Yeah. We'll get back to you on this, Paddywhack.
Okay. You know where to find me.
Sure do. Just open any door, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, don't open
That would
that
be
one.
wild if that worked.
He's just like
Just-
he just is like, don't open that one, but he like points to like nothing almost.
huh.
Tilt head like confused dog.
Nah, just don't be confused. Just go with it. It's just what happens. That's magic for you.
All right, so you guys are going to hold off on having him turn this into an item of use.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, does that mean that we can't use the gem unless it is transformed into one of these two objects?
I
Uh,
mean, Paddywhack can use it.
Yeah, I would say you could still use it technically. I can't
But
say
it's
more
more
than that.
difficult, potentially.
Or
Because the gem
possibly
is pretty big, right?
more
Yeah,
dangerous
it's the size of a
consequences.
good sized pear. So,
Oh, that's not as big as I expected.
I mean, a good
I was
sized
thinking
pear
like
is pretty
football
big.
size.
No, it's not that big. No, like yeah, proportionally like a good sized pear or like a mango. So like for like
For gem,
your
that's huge.
character corn, yeah, for like your character corn, like it would fit in your hand. Like you could easily hold it and probably get your whole hand around it easily enough just because of your size. Whereas like Melissa's character would probably like it would fill their hand and they'd have to grip it, but their hand wouldn't like get all the way around it. Trying to come up with like good way to visualize how big this gym is.
No, that's fair. Just for some reason in my mind's eye, I was like, oh yeah, it's totally like the size of a football or some crazy huge gym. I don't know why. Don't ask questions.
It's okay.
My brain was like, important object must be huge. Okay, so it's not quite as difficult to carry around. But yeah, having it like as a staff or a necklace is obviously more easy. Gem creeps me out, so that's up to the group. Don't know where
Okay.
the baskets went. That was weird.
Yeah, like if
Uh,
if you guys just want to wait on having him do anything with it, that's totally fine. You wait till next week when Nicole's is here or whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, but what does this have to do with the meteor?
I mean, I'll take Death Ray Staff if no one wants it.
True.
Death Ray staff.
Oh, Paddywhack. What language is this? Were you able to discern that?
Yes, it's a very very old uh version of Infernal.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Calvin, was your
Um,
character the only one that noticed that the gem glowed when we were fighting everything with the meteor going around?
Yeah. Because I didn't actually tell anyone either.
So what does the writing say?
on the gym,
Yep.
I it's a very highly complex spell. It would literally fill pages upon pages upon pages within like it would fill my store.
All that is
Somebody
in
managed
here.
to somebody managed to craft and write this spell and compact it down and it, as I said earlier, infuse it into this gym. So the spell is the gym now. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's very complex quantum atoms and thing. It's a lot. That's why like whoever made this had more knowledge than I couldn't even make something like this.
Alrighty then.
Hmm. But Nox, weren't you saying that you wanted to go find the meteor for some reason?
Yeah, because I noticed the gem was glowing the closer we got to the meteor. So before coming to see Paddywhack, my indication was Oh, the meeting must have something to do with the gym. Our guild leader told us to go investigate the gym. Therefore, go investigate the meeting. That was Knox's line of thinking.
Do we still need to do that though?
I don't think it's much. I guess we can always return to Targon and tell him what we've discovered so far and see what he wants us to do after the fact.
I get the feeling that if we told the guild leader about what this gem does, we won't get to keep it.
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, because then we won't get a cool death ray.
Right. So we don't know fully what it does other than it quote unquote consumes living beings. That sounds like bad news and dangerous.
Everything is bad news and dangerous these days, Corn.
That's true. Which is why I think the guild will probably want to keep it out of hands that might misuse it, or hands like ours that might be too stupid for it.
Who says we misused it? It's
Disbelieving
fine.
squint.
I kind of want to casually wave the gem around as I'm saying that.
Oh my goodness.
It's fine. See? I can't even activate it properly.
Wait, can you?
No. PW hasn't actually explained to me the incantation, so I don't actually know what I'm doing with it.
No, he did.
But don't actually need to know the actual words.
No.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
like it works like most spells and stuff like that. So like any spell that has like a verbal component to it, it's whatever you decide that it is. I'm not gonna necessarily dictate per se exactly what the spell is unless you guys would like me to.
It is a
But
missed opportunity to make us have to say something really silly.
I mean, fair. Um,
See, I would say something silly anyway.
yeah.
That's true.
But it's more along the lines of like, how to phrase this. It's not something that has like a set thing, because it is like it has its own magic, so non-magic users could use it.
Essentially, you don't always have to say this phrase abracadabra to get it to activate. You could say alakazam and it would still activate the same.
Right.
That's what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we have the intent to activate it, I guess.
Yeah, let's go with that. Again, unless you guys want me to come up with something, I can do that, but I didn't.
I don't think
I personally did. I personally didn't think about that part. Just because like I was referencing like how spells typically work. So, but I mean, now that you mention it, that is a good point. It is like a unique thing. So, but yeah, I would say so long as your intent is to do what the spell does with the gemstone when you're using it, you should be able to cast the spell just fine.
Gotcha. Well, we will get back to you on this once we've talked to our good buddy Ghouls.
Who's he again?
The big guy,
With the glaive?
with the glaive. That's what that name is.
Oh, the one with the guns.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah. He's pretty funny. I loved your interactions with him.
Yeah, he's fun to mess with.
See, I knew you were messing with him.
Flashback to Joel's getting super pissed.
All right, so what do you guys want to do from here? PW told you guys about the gym, what he figured out, what it does, and the spell, and all that good stuff. You guys decided that you weren't gonna have him turn it into item of use just yet. So what now?
I guess I'm heading to the east side of town.
East
heading
side
to
of
the east
town. What's
side?
on the east side of town?
The
Is that where the guild is?
magistrate. No, the
Oh,
magistrate.
right. You have to
center.
go register.
At the Magus,
I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
or with the Magus, should I say?
With the maggots. I don't know if you guys wanted to tag along. I have no idea how potentially boring the process may be. I don't know yet if you guys want to sit in the waiting room.
Um,
I don't
Could
know what
always-
happens.
could always see if there's someone there who might know a bit more about this stone.
True.
Oh, the Magus is gonna absolutely take the stone from us.
I mean, we don't have to tell them we have the stone. We can just inquire about it. Hypotheticals, Corin. Hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Hmm. I put too
Wait,
much
by the way,
trust in other magic users.
Corin, what's with the leaf?
I have no idea.
But you keep getting lost in thought over it.
Because I don't understand it.
Oh,
But it feels important.
do we
And then
want
I
to
will
go
ask
track?
the DM, did any of that make sense to me now that I've pondered it for a while? Did that feel familiar? Did I know where I went?
Let's see how to phrase this. Um,
How to phrase this? No.
well,
No, your
the
character's very
answer,
stupid.
no, the answer isn't like no directly. It's like no, it's not familiar. You have no idea like what happened, where you went when that was happening. Like you don't know what that was, but you do know. And again, this is why it's a little confusing. You do know at the same time where that was. Um,
Because my
because
character
you
has been
witnessed
there
it.
before?
Well, because
Or
yes and
like
no.
because like my brain because I had like this astral projection thing go on that like I was imparted that knowledge through that process.
That's more
Okay,
keen to
that's
what
what
I
I
would
just
say.
wanted to clarify. Like, I don't know if my character would have been anywhere like that before all like current times, or like if that's why I would know, or like I gained this knowledge through the transmitting of this information.
Right. So your experience at that moment is how you have that knowledge. Like you've never been there, you've never seen it before. So like if you were to like try and explain to somebody like, oh, like if you want to go to this place, you just need to do this thing, you wouldn't be able to explain that to them. But you know, because you are you, how to get to that area, so to speak.
Okay, and then I was on the crazy wild imagination ride, and I thought I heard you say that I flew over the city and went north.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You were above the city when it started, and you were like speeding north, um, out of the city. Um, you,
And there
uh,
was a forest and then a clearing.
yeah. So you were speeding out of the city. Above it to the north, there was like a woods. You were, your mind, if you will, dove into the woods. You were weaving around, and then you come to this clearing with these very old ancient trees and stones, and you, to put plainly, landed on one of the stones, and you heard the words, "Ever watchful, our roots run deep."
Which does that mean anything to Corn?
Not at this time.
Cool.
Like that whole I'm trying to think how to phrase this.
No, that probably really freaked him out, right?
Yeah, like definitely because it's not something you necessarily experienced or was it expecting to happen.
Right.
Um, but I will say that it seems to it would probably seem to be of some importance though to your character.
Right.
Like
That makes sense.
just because you experienced it, so you're like, yeah, what was this? I don't
What
quite
is that?
understand.
I gotta know.
Right.
Um. Okay. Uh. Our characters don't necessarily have maps, right?
Um.
Because I know that you've shown us like a map of the continent to show
Yeah.
like where the cities and stuff
I
were.
w- I would say
So I'm
technically
sitting here thinking like, if I got
no.
a hold of a map, would I be able to go like this direction and
A
have a
generalized
better idea of
sure
how
to the
to
north,
go?
but outside of that, like if you wanted to let's say show Knox on a map where it's at, you couldn't do that. You would be able to
Okay.
say this area and gesture at like the north.
This section.
Yeah.
Would I know where the High Anvil Mountains are in relation to where we are now?
Um I would say Ratnob and Knox would know based off of their experience.
Okay, so me hearing from the speech that the High Anvil, that the Mater is somewhere in the High Anvil Mountains didn't mean shit to me.
Not really.
Well, I guess I'm holding the leaf, right? And I'll look at
Mhm.
Knox and go, I think we need to, I think I need to go somewhere. We need to go somewhere. Kind of.
I and we
I
are
don't
two
know
different
why.
people.
What?
I and we are two different people.
Well, I mean, you guys don't have to go with me.
Oh, did you want
I mean,
company?
where is it you're going?
I don't know, but I do know.
Sounds
I
about as
know that's
logical to
not
me.
helpful.
Infinitely clear.
um, because you wanted to go to the mountains, but I don't know where those are or
Oh
what
yeah, mountains
direction
are
those are
just
in.
it's just southwest of us. That way. Pointing some random
That's
southwestern direction.
that way. Meaningless.
They're mountains. You can't miss them.
Right, because mountains are really big. But that's
Yes.
not the direction I think I need to go.
Oh. Hmm.
So now we have two problems.
True. Oh. 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 Retinol. Did you turn off your oven?
Yeah, all taken care of.
Nice. What'd you bring us?
Oh,
What'd you make?
they burnt. I threw them in the bin.
Oh. Okay then.
Tragic accident.
Well, I guess you just have to try again and let us know how they turn out.
I got my hopes up for something delicious. And now I've been
True.
horribly disappointed.
Well, I'm gonna start walking towards the magistrate tower
Okay.
to go get
Um,
updated and all.
Would Melissa and I know how long this is going to take?
Yes.
Is it horribly long, like some terrible DMV?
Not
there's layers and layers of bureaucracy.
um no, thanks to the power of magic, things are much faster.
God.
It wouldn't like it's not going to take like half a day for them to do what they need to do there. Um but it will take some time. So like if
So
you
a
guys went
slightly
there
faster magical DMV.
Like if you guys were to go with them, I wouldn't say you're gonna wait around very long. But that's wholly up to y'all.
Mm.
I mean, we could always wait in the nearest pub.
True. Or you guys
Clap
could
Max
just go
on the
back to the
shoulder and
guild
be
hall.
like, "It's time for us to go show you just how fun it is to be a magic user now."
Oh boy, magic! Magic, magic, magic! Slight twinkle in my eye.
Oh my gosh. Pretty sure this place sucks.
I mean, hey, Melissa's got magic. She fires eldritch blasts out of her puppet's mouth. That's always pretty cool.
Can't lie, that's pretty dope.
True. Puppet cannon is very cool, but you're gonna find out that it's not so cool when we're in the cities.
Yeah, that's why we just do magic outside the cities. See, magic is cool. Heading towards the tower, Tim.
Okay.
Towards the tower.
sounds good to me. um yeah, so Nox, you start making your way towards the tower. Is everybody going with them?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to see his dreams of being a magic user crushed.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys make your way across the city. It's pretty uneventful. Nothing really happens. And you come around the corner and like you've been able to spot this tower for quite some time because like it's the tallest building in the area. But this is the Magus's Hall, and it's basically the center of operations for things like magical investigation and enforcement, I guess you could say, uh, within um, the city. So you like you're aware of its existence, Nox, but you've never needed to go there, right? Um, Up to this point, uh, both Corin and Melissa have been there, seeing as they're magic users, and uh, registering is a requirement. But yeah, so you just see this tall, splendorous tower. Um, it doesn't seem to. It stands out from the surrounding buildings. It appears to be made out of a material that is unlike everything else, where like majority of everything is like wood or stone, and this is like some fancy shit. Um, uh, you get
It's a
there and
wizard's tower.
yeah, you get to the building and you walk up the steps and you walk inside and there's a number of people waiting in like I guess like a waiting area. Um, you see there's a main desk and somebody behind it. Um, and then a number of smaller type desks spread throughout the area. Some are in use, some are not.
I walk up to the main desk.
The being behind the counter is like, "Hello, what can I do for you today?"
I was told by my guild rep that I need to be registered because I am now a magic user. And
Okay,
I want to
okay.
kind of stand in a
Ta-da!
superhero pose. Ta-da!
They they kind of like roll their eyes a little bit and grab like the equivalent of like some paper and like a clipboard and they're like name
Nox.
scribble 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 occupation
Uh, adventure.
are you represented by somebody?
The Pharaoh's drink.
Scribble scribble scribble. Age? Sir, do you not remember how old you are?
Dude, I'm an elf. I don't care about my age after a certain point. I'm actually trying to navigate D&D, but on to find out where it is.
It's okay. It would be in your description, but you're 115.
There it is. Okay.
So they basically just go through, you know, all your stuff, like your, you know, how old you are, and take down like your details. And they said you have a tag from the Farrell's drink.
Yep. Present the
Can I?
tag.
All right. They take it and they hold it in their hand and they whisper something, and like you can see it's doing stuff, and they, you know, kind of like how James did. They're just observing information and verifying stuff, and they hand it back, and they said, "Go ahead and take a seat. Someone will be with you in a moment for your
Okey dokey.
assessment."
Cool. I'll wander over to an empty seat.
And you kind of just you know, it's pretty quiet in here, and every once in a while you just hear like the occasional like cough or sniffle from somebody, one of the other people that are like uh sitting there. Every once in a while you hear like a name called, uh like people walking on this like flooring that's like almost like marble. It's stone. It's very loud when people walk on it. And then you hear your name, Knox.
That's me.
Knox, all right, come on. And
All
like
right.
they're like standing at these like two double doors or whatever, and they're like holding them open, waiting for you to enter, like to come
Okay.
over to them.
I proceed over.
All right. Is everyone trying to go with them, or are you just waiting?
No, I assume
I'm
we're
just
just waiting in the
waiting.
waiting room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think that we'd be allowed, but I would really love to watch.
uh yeah, I'll say, you know, like you try to go with them, and the person that called Knox was like, hold on a second, who are you?
This is Corn.
We're
Corn is one of my
teammates.
teammates. Yeah.
Okay. Come on. And like turns around and like keeps walking. And they're like leading you down this hallway, and then they stop, and there's like a staircase that goes to the right, and they're like, go up the stairs to the right, Corin. There's an observation box there. You're not allowed in the assessment area.
Alrighty.
Oh,
And
cool.
you follow
Have
me.
fun. I'll be cheering you on.
Yeah.
And they kind of go to this wide, like it's in the building, but they open these doors, and it's like almost as if like you just stepped back outside. You can't tell, but like the room isn't actually like outside, but it
Okay.
looks like it. And they have like the papers or whatever that what's his face had signed at the very front desk.
Okay.
And they're like looking through it, and they're like, okay, so you specialize in ranger abilities and skills.
Yes.
Okay. Like you could tell he's like like he's just going through the motions. He's not amused or involved or anything like that. And he's like, okay. And the room kind of like shimmers and shifts a little bit as he puts up his hand, and he starts like chanting some spell. And he's you see a handful of like targets and stuff like that appear some distance away, and he's like, okay, we're going to go through your assessment to determine your magical skills and abilities. And he's like, you know, scribbling things down, and he's like, go ahead and shoot one of the targets for me, please.
Shoot. Okay, sure. I'll pull out my bow. Shooting.
Uh, all right. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Do you actually want me to roll?
No, I just like,
Okay.
you know, your character's doing this stuff. I was gonna give you that chance to like narrate what you're doing.
I take take a firing stance, breathe deep, and let go of my arrow.
All right, and the arrow whizzes down and strikes true on your target. He's like, mm-hmm. He drops some more stuff down, and he's like, okay. I want you to shoot the 3 targets that are down there
Okay,
at the same time.
easy. I pull out 3 arrows, knock them all at once,
All
calm
right.
and steady myself, and fire.
All right. As you shoot those 3 arrows, they all disintegrate and like shortly after they leave your bow.
Okay.
As a burst of fire just kind of engulfs them. And the assessment officer is like, he's the one who he casts a fireball spell or whatever. He's like, no, all at the same time, 1
But
arrow.
but okay. Take out 1 arrow, aim towards the centermost target, fire.
And as you're getting ready to loose this arrow, you kind of feel this like surge of energy, and right as the arrow is loosed from your bow, you see this like slight, almost like wispy trail of uh blue energy leave from your fingertips to the end of the arrow once it's past like the curve of your bow, right?
Okay.
And right as that happens, you notice that the arrow sprouts these like rose-like thorns all along it, and it slams into the target that you're aiming at, and then all of these thorns shoot everywhere, striking all of the other targets in the room. They bounce off of the walls and all these other things, and uh, some of them come back and start ricocheting off the ground near you. Uh, you're pretty caught off guard by this,
Okay.
but you're pretty sure like why this is happening. And the assessment officer is like, is like, that's what I thought. Hmm. And he's just
Yeah,
kind of like,
that's what I
again,
thought too.
and he looks up at you because he's shorter than you are, and he's like, mm-hmm. And he writes it again. He's like, do it again.
All right. Concentrate. Concentrate. Fire.
And more or less same thing happens. The arrow sprouts these thorns as it strikes its target. Those thorns ricochet, hitting their targets, and some of them again fly back at you. And one of them actually skips off the ground and hits the officer in the leg.
Ooh, that
And
might leave a
he
mark.
like drops down to the ground, kind of like over onto his side, and he's like holding his leg. He's like, ah, damn it. Like he's very angry and mad. And he's like, he's like, this is what I get. Stupid job. Like he's going off and he's like holding his leg and it's hurting and stuff like that.
I thought you had a fire protection shield. You burnt my arrows before.
And he just kind of stops moaning and groaning and looks at you, and he's like, that's different.
But it's magic. How isn't that how magic works?
And he says, no,
Oh, well, that sucks for you
I
then,
don't
buddy.
have a passive magic shield.
Why not?
I'm glad I'm in
should-
the waiting room. I would be dying from laughter up top.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
do
yeah,
it
Corey's
again,
just
do it
like-
again.
Rubbing the hands, be like, you get to work now.
And
You should-
he's
You should
just
really
like
develop
hurting.
your passive magic shield, buddy.
Um, he kind of like sits himself up, and he's looking at his pant leg and like the wound and stuff, and he grabs the needle, the thorn that kind of like half embedded in his leg, and he pulls it out, and it's bleeding pretty good.
Ooh. You know, my wait, actually, Corin, did you have you actually used cure? You have. I have seen you use cure before.
Yeah, because I healed goals.
Right.
Because he
Okay.
got real fucked up by the wolves.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'll mention to the proctor. You know, my friend up there knows how to cure wounds. Do you need me to take you to them?
And he's like looking at the wound, and he's like, well, I gotta get this bleeding to stop. You do it.
Me?
That's right.
All right, sure. I'll tear off a piece of my cloth, tie it around his leg. Bleeding stopped.
he's he's like, no, dummy, use magic.
Oh, right. Wait. Oh, okay. I'll go down to his wound, place my hand on it, and wait.
And as you're placing your hand on it, he's like, what are you doing?
I mean, I've only seen Corn do this. I don't know how it works. I just assumed that it would just happen. Because that's magic, right?
Okay, so it doesn't just happen, dummy. You
Oh,
need to you need to cast the spell, focus, concentrate, envision the spell, and speak the words.
okay, I got this. Clap my hands together, rub them together. Heal.
Sure enough, you feel this spring of energy come out of your hands, and the wound mends itself via magic. And he's like, that's better. And he like rolls over and gets up. He picks up his clipboard and he starts scribbling some stuff down. And he's like, he like sizes you up, and he's like, I
See,
think
magic is great,
that's all
isn't it?
for now. He's like, eh. He just like lets out a groan, and he's like, come on. And he starts walking out the way you guys came in.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you continue down the hallway, and you get to like where the stairs are, where Corin went up.
Is Corin down at the bottom of the stairs?
I don't know, Corin, are you down at the bottom of the stairs?
I guess so. If I had seen him left the, did I hear all that, or was there?
I could say that you heard some of it.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was like a.
I don't think you're super far away, and I wouldn't say it's like soundproof.
Yeah, I guess
It's
what I
just
was
kind of
thinking
up
about,
and
like,
out of the
you know,
way.
when people like watch the people who do like the how to do surgery on the dead bodies kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
through like the
Yeah.
window.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure there would be a window, or if it was like a balcony that I'm just sitting there observing this this catastrophe happening.
I'd say it's like a balcony.
Cool,
Like
yeah.
an opera
If I'd
box.
seen Knox left, I would have ran down the stairs, a little skip in my step.
Corn, guess what I can do? Look, I healed that dude. Magic. That's
Tapped
right.
you on the shoulder.
Magic.
Sure did, buddy.
And hey, looks like I won't be needing your help to hear myself now.
We'll see about that. How many times do you think you can do that?
I mean, I only need to do it once, right? That's magic for you.
And what
I mean, you
happens
see
if
it?
you get hurt again?
Then I die. Plain and simple. That's the laws of nature.
The dude's
Corn.
like, that's
You're
true.
either alive
And
or you're dead.
he's like, at this point, he's kind of like, let's go, come on. Talk out in the lobby. I've got other people to assess today. And like ushers you forward and then out the double doors, and he looks at his clipboard and he calls someone else's name.
Alrighty. I've got 2 new spells. Ooh ah.
Yeah, as you go join everybody else, the front desk dude is like, Knox, come here.
I wander over.
And he's like, I need your tag one more time, please.
Okay. Present tag.
He takes it and does a little magical thing. He's like, all right, I've registered you with the Magus and put your ability stuff. So like we know, and you're good.
Cool.
You're all set. You're officially a magic user.
Magic user. I'll
He
happily
just
walk out the door.
he hands you like a pamphlet with like all the like some of the like informational stuff about magic and in cities and laws and things like that.
I'll
You know,
take the
general
pamphlet.
information.
I'll look at the how big is the pamphlet?
It's like 3 or 4 pages. You know, it's
I'll
like
take
one of
the
those ones
pamphlet.
that you like pull, like fold out or whatever.
Yeah. So I'll take it. I'll unfold it out, read like the first line, and then fold it back up and put it away.
Okay. So long as you took it, that's all
yeah,
that
something
matters
I
to
don't
him.
care about.
Yeah, so you get registered with the Magus.
While
Magus,
he was at
Magus.
the front desk, I would have gone over to the waiting area to where Melissa and Ratnab are hanging out. And
Were there
look at
magazines in the
Melissa.
waiting room?
What?
Were there magazines in the waiting room for us?
I'm sure there was some form of literature.
Good. I'm reading one of them upside down. Like I'm holding the book upside down.
It's funny. Yeah, I'll walk over to Ratnab and Melissa and go, "Oh, Melissa, you really should have came with us to watch what happened. I think you would have had a good time."
I nod sagely. I'm just like,
We also might want to stay out of the way when Nox decides to use his magic. Just as a warning to everybody else, especially you, Ratnab, since you like to be up in the thick of things.
Why? What did he do?
Well, he totally hurt the assessor by mistake, I assume.
And he still passed him?
I mean, he did figure out how to heal the wound, so I guess that was good enough. Maybe their standards are really low. I don't know. They let me and Melissa in.
I mean the Magus office and stuff like that is really just about assessment. So that way they're like, oh my god, this individual is like a god and could destroy the city in a single spell, or you know, like this individual knows a very rare magic that can be used to manipulate people or something like that. It's more of like just like so that they're aware what people can do and who can do magic, since magic is so powerful. It's not like a driver's license where it's like, oh, you failed, you
Oh.
can't use magic.
More just like, what kind of magic can you do? Oh, you're not very good at this, are you? Bless your heart.
Yep. That's me.
All right, now your assessment is done and you're registered. What would you guys like to do?
Does anyone have anything to do around town?
No.
I think I need to buy a map. Because I don't know where anything is.
To the map store. Away.
To the map store.
Okay, so you want to go and find a map?
Yeah, I assume that there's like a. Well, I didn't think about it when we were at the guild hall, but they had provisioning services. They could have maps too.
Yeah, I would say they probably would.
One stop shop. Maybe, I don't know. Do we need to go back to the guild hall for anything? Oh, we should go pick up goals.
Yeah.
So you're headed back to the guild, or are you looking for like a cartographer's store?
I think I would go to the guild hall and see if I could just get a map from the store there.
Okay.
Under the impression that they would have them and that maybe they wouldn't be as expensive. So I'm not looking for a nice map. Looking for a functional map.
Okay. So is everybody else going to go back to the guild hall?
I'll go back to the guild hall.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to do in town.
Same.
Okay. Y'all make your way to the southwest from where you're at. And you're making your way downtown, walking fast. You get back to the guild hall and you go inside. There's definitely less adventurers now than there was earlier this morning, because I'd say it's definitely, with all the traveling, it's probably like 4 o'clock at this point.
That was today.
So you get back to the guild hall and you can definitely see there's far less adventurers in the main hall than there was this morning. Or I guess it would have been, yeah, I'd still say it was morning. It was like 10 or whatever when you guys were doing all that stuff before you left. So you want to go see
So
James?
it's like late afternoon.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep like time in mind with all of this, because like the city's big, so like, and you're traveling on foot, so it is taking you a while to get places, but not like hours. It's not that big of a city.
Not like in real life if you wanted to walk over to.
Yeah.
Walk across Seattle. Yeah, it'd take a while.
Yeah, I would say that yeah, it's like 4 o'clock. And your plan is to go see James?
Yeah.
Okay. Walk over to the window. See James doing his thing.
Hi there.
He looks up from what he's doing. Oh, he's like, "Oh, hello. What can I help you with?"
Do you have maps for sale?
Kind of maps.
Full region, whole country maps?
I think we have something. He gets up and he goes over to a wall of like, it kind of looks like uh like wine racks, but it's just full of like scrolls and stuff. He like pulls some of them out, takes a look, and then he finds one, and he pulls it out and he walks over and he like scrolls it out, and it's a pretty basic map of the country, and has like your basic landmarks and stuff like that, such as the rivers and major cities and towns and that sort of thing.
And like maybe notable natural things like mountains, big forests.
Yeah.
Okay. How much is the map?
This would be 10 silver. Or I guess it'd be 1 gold.
Oh, Same thing. Okay. Yeah, I would like to get the map, please, and I'll hand over a gold piece.
All right. He
Move one.
rolls it back up
Figured
for
it out.
you. Takes a little piece of twine and ties it so it doesn't unroll. It's like, all right, here you go.
Thank you. And I'll wave and then leave. Go back
Right.
to the
If you
group.
need anything else, just let me know. Got the map.
I got the map, guys.
Ba-na-na-na.
Ba-na-na-na. But no compass.
I mean the map would have like a what's it called? I forget the official term.
A ledger? Not a ledger.
You made the Zelda noise, so I was making a Zelda joke.
Oh,
Yeah, the in Zelda, the map will only show you the layout, but will not show you anything else. The compass shows you the location of any
Treasure
treasure that you
chest,
haven't opened
keys.
yet. Yeah, keys.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
As a-
your own space on the like you have like a little marker for yourself on the map too.
I think
then
that's
it's
just when you get the map.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even when you don't have either the map or the compass, you can still open your quote unquote map to see what rooms you have been to, and it will still show you your position on
Oh, it's been a while since I played like a.
Unless it's Skyward Sword and they put it into one.
it. Yeah. Hey, maybe once we get our compass, it'll make little sound effect notifications for when there's a key in the
um
I
yeah,
already
so
add a map to my inventory.
you got your map? Yeah, go ahead and add that to your
That's about a
inventory.
map. Oh no.
I should have made it like the map from Dora the Explorer.
I mean, that is definitely the thing that hit my brain was the map song, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The map, on the map, on the map, on the map. Anyways, yeah, so you got your map. What now?
Nox, do you actually want to tell the guild leader about what the gemstone does?
Mm, no, because I mean, I guess uh, from Calvin's line of thinking was we'll just wait till next week when Keelan is back, and then we'll kind of roll that into, hey, we're going to go pick up goals from talking with the guild master, and if he happens to ask, I'll provide information.
I see. I think that makes sense because I think we're at this point where we're like, oh, like we need to go somewhere as a group. Either vaguely gesturing at the map this direction, pointing to
I
where I
mean,
think I need to go, or this direction, pointing where it says Anvil Mountains.
we could always go do training.
Yeah, so
Training montage.
so
Training
you're
montage.
you're gesturing to the north here, right?
Yeah.
And then this way to the High Amble Mountains. I mean it's fully up to you guys what you would like to do at this point. Whether or not like let's say in the off chance that you're like, okay, well let's head towards the High Amble Mountains, and obviously Goals is not with the party at the moment. I would obviously figure out a way to catch him up or something along those lines. Or if you went north, uh, I mean, depending, you guys would probably be there and back again. But like I said to Keelan earlier, he's not going to necessarily miss on anything. Like the biggest thing he's missed out on so far is like you guys talking to PW, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Right, because we've had like all of our individual revelations of such things.
yeah, most of you have done all of your stuff.